right, so we're going to show you how to use the pizza oven attachment on the Green Mountain Grill. There's a couple things you got to do before you start getting the pizza oven put together. You got to do some setup and tear down. First thing that you got to do is you got to take out your grill grates. We'll go ahead and set those right over here. All right, we'll take this one out here. All right, set that down. There's also a good time if you need to clean off your drip pan, which I obviously have to do. You take that out and set that to the side as well. And then, after we take that out, we have to unhook the heat exchange. So we come right under here and just take this and just twist it off. All right, we can set that off to the side with everything else. And then we're just going to take this heat exchange right here. We're going to pull it right off. So once we have that out, the firebox will be exposed right there. And then that'll tell us what we got to do next when we put together our pizza oven attachment. So we've got our firebox here exposed. You see we've got a nice little cylinder right there. The pizza oven attachment comes on really, really simple. So you only have really 4 pieces that you got to worry about. This is the lid right here that's going to go on top of the oven. And then you've got this little guy right here. All this is you'll see a little nut on there. You put the nut on the bottom side of the lid and you just twist this on top. All this is a handle. So in order to fit it back in the box, you got to take this handle off when you're all done. So we've got that, we got the lid, we have the actual pizza stone. You can see it's been used a few times. And then the 4th piece is the portion that actually attaches to the grill. So you'll notice that the collar here looks exactly like the firebox. This actually just sits right inside the firebox and doesn't sink down or anything like that. You just set it in and then you're good to go. All right, so the first thing that we got to do is just put this handle on here. Like I said, you just take this nut, just put it underneath here, take your handle and just twist it on. You don't have to do anything but make it hand tight, because once it's hand tight, again, you're going to be taking it off later on. So this is just so you can lift it on and off if you need to. So now we're going to take the actual heat source portion of it, and this does come up and down. Not sure why it's got that sort of ability to do that, but it does. And notice that there's a little lip on the back here. So the lip goes towards the back of the oven. So we just take this and we just set it right inside the firebox, just like that. So once that's in there, we're good to go. Next step, we take our pizza stone. It really doesn't matter which side that you start with, because it's universal. You can see it's got the feet down here, and you just take that and just slide it on right there. We're good to go. Last piece is we take our lid and we set it on top, just like that. All of a sudden you've turned your Green Mountain Grill into a pizza oven. So now what we want to do is we are going to go ahead and close that lid, and we are going to turn on our grill. Once we get it going, we're going to turn it to 300 degrees. Reason we're going to keep it at 300, the manual will say go up to as high as 430. What we have found is we ruined a couple of pizzas our first time through putting it that high. You want your pizza stone to get to about between 600 and 700 degrees. And if you get it up to 700, you're going to get a quicker pizza, but you're going to have to mind it a lot more, and you're probably going to have to turn it really, really fast so it doesn't burn. So we found last time we did this, 300 degrees, that'll get your stone up to about 600. I'll have an IR thermometer that we're going to shoot the oven with. I'll show you that in just a little bit. And you want to make sure that the stone gets nice and hot. One of the things that's different about this setup than your normal grill setup is when it gets the temperature on the smoker, when it gets to 300, that doesn't necessarily mean that the stone is ready. Usually once it gets to temperature, it takes about 25 to 30 minutes to get the stone up to temperature. So we'll show you what we're doing with that in just a few minutes. All right, so we got all of our stuff going with the grill that's getting warmed up to temperature. Here's what we got for our layout for our pizzas. So we've got our dough. You can go buy the pizza dough at any local grocery store, nice and easy. We've got some flour to dust onto the wood plates. We got cornmeal that we're going to use on the peel. Once we put them on the grill, we're going to use that to slide those on so we can get them on the stone easier. We got our pizza sauce, we've got our cheese, and we've got our toppings. So easy enough with this. Just going to take some flour, be nice and liberal with that to make sure that your dough doesn't stick. All right, so we're just going to take this, squeeze the air out of it as much as we can, get it into a nice flat little disc. Kind of push it out a little ways, flip it over, nice coverage with the flour, and then you could try to flip it in the air if you like. We tried it, it's a colossal failure, so we took the easy way out and we just used rolling pins. So we're just going to roll this out. All right, so now we're turning it over to the topping master, Mateo.
So for toppings, what I do is I start with the sauce, I go to the cheese, then I go to whatever pepperoni, olives, whatever we're putting on top. So for the sauce, I use a regular big sauce spoon and put just 2 spoonfuls onto the dough and just spread it till it's about ½ inch from the edge. So, and it doesn't have to be like a sauce spoon specifically like this. It can be any spoon, ladle. Then on the cheese, feel free to be generous with cheese. I usually do about 2-3 handfuls. Spread it out a little bit. And then same with the pepperoni. Don't be afraid of being a little bit generous. And what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of cheese on top of everything just to hold it together.
All right, so we should be about up to temperature. Like I said, we got this going at 300 degrees. So right now it's sitting at about 298 and going up. It's been there for a while, so with the fan it starts to fluctuate a little bit. But we'll go ahead and open this up. You might hear that fan going. We'll take our little gun right here. You need a thermometer that goes up to at least 1,000 degrees because this thing is pretty hot. So we're going to shoot it right at the center, and we are pushing pretty hot. About 726 was one spot. It's actually hotter than I wanted it to be, so that just means that we'll have to make sure to turn the pizza quite a bit. So, all right, let's go ahead and get our pizzas. All right, so here we go. So now we got our pizza peel. Some people say they like the wood ones. I just got this one because it was the cheapest one. And so we've got our 2 pizzas right here. With the grill being a little bit hotter than I wanted it to be, means we're gonna have to turn these a little bit faster. So usually about every 20 to 30 seconds you put the peel in and you turn it. And so I'm gonna have Mateo film, and then we'll walk you through the turning process. The thing that's really important is a little bit of cornmeal. Put a little bit of cornmeal on the edge and a little bit right here on your pizza peel. I never actually knew what this was on pizzas until I started doing these recipes. And what that's gonna allow you to do is it's gonna hopefully if we did this right, hopefully these weren't sitting too long. That's going to allow us to slide underneath here and to be able to slide it right off. This part is really just a finesse thing. 2 weeks ago, tried it, failed miserably. Last week we did it pretty well. We'll see how we can do it today. Not too bad. All right, so now we're gonna just pop this right in the oven. And again, it's a little bit of finesse. Sliding her off the peel, but once you get it, you get it. So we'll go ahead and start our timer here, and I usually keep an eye on it. I put a stopwatch on, and I do it for about every 30 seconds. And then we do have some pizza pans, but for today we're just going to go ahead and throw the pizza back on this bamboo cutting board. Again, these cutting boards are pretty slick because they happen to be 14 inches, which is the exact size of the pizza that we have in here. All right, so we're at about 30 seconds. I can already smell it cooking quite a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to get underneath this with our peel, and we're just going to turn it just a little bit. Close it again. Wait another 30 seconds. Right, here we are after about 4 minutes, and we got ourselves a pizza. Not too bad. Now we had a little bit of, we didn't get quite all the air out of these, so you get a little bit of a bubblier crust, but some people like the bubble. So we'll do this one more time. One out. Pretty good, pretty sizzly. You gotta be careful when you pull that out. It's gonna be hot. I do have my gloves over here. I probably should be wearing them, but try not to get too close with the peel there. Now, last most important step of this part is you're gonna go ahead and put your Green Mountain Grill into fan mode. Shut it down. Now the trick with this part is, even though the fan is gonna shut off and the internal temperature of the grill is gonna go down, that stone is going to be hot for probably about an hour, hour and a half. And so even though the grill says that it's off, you need to make sure to wait at least an hour or to an hour and a half to make sure that that stone has cooled off. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. A good idea will be to use your IR thermometer to check it one more time. So let's go ahead and take these pizzas in and we'll cut them up. All right, last step in the process, get yourself a good pizza cutter. Instead of those rolly ones, when you use those rolly ones, it's going to spread the cheese all around. So you just take this little guy right here, get it for about 20, 25 bucks on Amazon. You just come over right here, you just give it a nice little cut. Make yourself 8 slices. And you got yourself some pizza. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful.